A very good afternoon, Team Zimbabwe, and welcome to Africa and Beyond Television Network. We continue to take a look on what's happening in the nation without fear, without favor. And at this point in time, we are looking at a report. Zimbabwe received a donation of 1,000 metric tons of aid from Rwanda. And this has caused quite a stir in Zimbabwe at this point in time. And this is being attributed to the failure of Mnanagwa-led government to effectively tackle the country's pressing humanitarian needs. And this significant donation do not only highlight the pressing issues, but also the government's inability to provide essential resources for its own citizens. But also it reveals the extent of Zimbabwe's dependence on external assistance. And remember, Rwanda is around 26,000 square kilometers in size. That is half the size of Masvingo province alone. Masvingo province is around 56,000 square meters, square kilometers. I think this was an error. Square kilometers, and you know, it is home of two Zimbabwe largest inland dams, both of which are currently underutilized. And imagine the potential we might have if we are to utilize the arable land which we have in Masvingo, if we are to utilize both crop and animal husbandry. What is it we lack as a country? Nothing. We have everything. We have hardworking people, knowledgeable people. We have resources, land. We have it. We have dams. We have equipment to use at our places. What we don't have is a government which is reliable, a government which is viable. This is the problem which we have. So Masvingo alone has the capacity to feed the entire nation of Zimbabwe. I've been saying this for a very long time. Masvingo alone can focus to feed the whole nation of Zimbabwe. And what is produced in other provinces then is then regarded as surplus and is supplied to other areas or to other countries. Those will be exports, which means Zimbabwe can solely focus on agriculture, and it becomes a hub. It becomes a bread basket once again. So we are taking a look on which crop can you say it doesn't grow in Masvingo. Maybe we cannot talk of tobacco because that is not food. We are talking about food crops. Each and every food crop you might think of can grow in Masvingo. From wheat, maize, anything you might think of, it can grow in Masvingo. People do have pieces of land, family land, but that land can be utilized because once we have supported these farmers with water, they can do irrigation, support their farmlands, and they can produce the whole year. And once we have managed that, they will then make sure that they sell to GMB, they sell to DMB, they sell to all these marketing bodies which we have across Zimbabwe, including CSC. If we are to resuscitate CSC, Masvingo, and Mat South, Mat North alone can make CSC viable and can even be able to supply various countries with organic meat from Zimbabwe. But it's not happening because of the kind of leadership which we have at this point in time. We are talking of things which can be done. We are talking of things, models, which Rwanda is using at this particular moment. Rwanda is very small, half the size of Masvingo, but it's donating 1,000 metric tons of wheat to Zimbabwe. We are told each and every time Mnanagwa boasting about being the largest wheat producer, this and that. But we are relying on donations. The major question is, where is the wheat you always boast about? Last year you were boasting about wheat, utakakowa wheat yakawanda zvakadai. Guys, we are talking about Rwanda, which is 26,000 square kilometers. And Zimbabwe will tell you kuti vameno mahectares mangani ewheat avakaisa avakarima, which means vaifanira kunge vachitopawo vana Rwanda, nyika diki idzi, vana Swaziland, vana Lesotho. Where is that wheat going to? We are asking very important questions. This is humiliation. ZANU-PF people, I know that you don't want to hear about these issues, but this is humiliation. 100% total humiliation. Masvingo alone, in a two of the biggest dams, Chokwemkosi and Lake Mterik. These are two biggest inland dams in Zimbabwe. We cannot talk about Kariba because we share with Zambia. We cannot talk about Kariba because right now kune nyaya dzemvura, mvura ishoma, mvura yazodai. But we are talking about two dams, Lake Mterik and Chokwemkosi dams, which are all above 90% full at this point in time. But they are being underutilized. Why? It's because of how the government is failing to do the right things. If you take a look onto these two dams, they can actually provide electricity for the southern region. That is Masvingo, Manicaland, and Matabeleland South. They can provide electricity for these regions, including my regions akata sana zvishavane. They will be encompassed kusvika kunana Mat South ESA. That is another part of Midlands. These two dams, they can produce electricity enough to feed and supply all these areas we are talking about. Also, these provinces do have an opportunity. Yekuti, if we are to implement solar and wind power production plants, they will be viable for especially the region of Mwenezi. If you are to install wind turbines, that is the perfect area for wind turbines. And it will be a very great investment, which is going to give you more potential. You can also have solar, you can also have wind as generating sources of power. You can have power stations in that province. But it's not happening because the government itself does not care. We are talking about Rundetende Dam, a dam which was supposed to be prioritized if this government was serious about investment. Rundetende Dam, if it is completed, you can then put other areas, including Matabeleland South Province. You can again put it under irrigation, fully utilizing it. Making sure that each and every household is running its own irrigation scheme, running its own poultry, import milk. Zimbabwe should not import meat. Zimbabwe should not import maize, wheat, whatsoever. These are things which must be grown right here. What it means is you can then transform Masvingo into an industrial hub. Remember there is a Rutenga there, where there is that connection line which connects Mozambique, which connects South Africa, which connects Botswana, which connects Zambia. It does have that potential to connect all these countries which I have mentioned. Mozambique, it can connect to South Africa, it can connect to Botswana, it can connect to Zambia. Rutenga alone, which means that dry port they've been talking about, yaifanira kunge ichitouya ichizopinda ipapo. Teaches out irrigation schemes are running smooth and everything is being utilized. Young people in those areas and those provinces are being employed. Nelson Chamisa knows about these issues, has dealt with these issues, and clear plans are there. I'm talking about what I know. Clear plans are there to make sure that Masvingo becomes the hub. Inchaita kuti nyika inge ichiwana everything, and other provinces are then used to sell, to service foreign markets. That is a very clear plan to say, okay, Masvingo will deal with the issues of food security within, and then other provinces will be dealing with the issues of making sure that we have enough foreign currency, industrialization and other. Then whilst Masvingo becomes a hub, a port, a province inenge ine port, everything chiri kudistributwa kupi it comes through zvichibuda zvichienda. We have Buffalo Range which can be expanded further to become an international airport, which means zvese zviri kuda kubuda ndege hombe dzese mainternational nenge ese anenge achiuya achimhara ipapo dzichibuda dzichiendesa dzichibuda dzichienda kupi kwese kwese. This is what can Masvingo do. We are talking about things which are on the plan of President Advocate Nelson Chamisa. Yet you are being told 2030 chipo vanhu vasina plan vasiri kuziva kuti tichaita sei nevanhu ivavo. And right now they are celebrating a donation of wheat from another country. Imagine, guys, the embarrassment. Imagine, this is a minister anonzi Garwe vachienda kunocelebrata kuti tapiwa vakomana tapiwa goros tapiwa wheat. This is humiliating. This is embarrassing. We have people with potential, hardworking people. If you go to Mashonaland East Province, Mashonaland East Province is one of the provinces with people with potential capacity and also with land. But what is happening there? Nothing. Mashonaland East Province ine tumademu tudiki twakanga twakaiswa nevarungu tuya, which can also sustain farming in those areas to an extent yekuti in terms of commercial purposes, we know that we are covered in Mashonaland East. We go to Mashonaland West, tinogona ita farming, tinogona ita mining, other things zvakawanda wanda. The same applies to Mashonaland East Province, other parts of Mashonaland East provinces. And then we go to Mashonaland Central. We are being told kuti kwaita oil. We are being told about all those issues would transform Zimbabwe zoti haife yakakumbira kana chini. Why are we begging? This is humiliating. These people vatambira zvinhu izvi vanoenda vonofara ye tapiwa this tapiwa that, but they do not know that this is humiliation. They are being humiliated. They are being humiliated because how do you celebrate getting 1,000 metric tons the flour from another country? This is embarrassing, man. We can't. At this point in time, guys, look at the rate at which our people are stuck in South Africa. Imagine kuti dai mayouth edu anga achiempoweriwa vachipiwa ma-irrigation schemes. Vachiempoweriwa so that they can do irrigation at the places which they have. Imagine, guys, kuti vaisvika papi. We are not saying to pay mari. We are saying come and implement irrigation schemes so that we can implement whatever we want in terms of irrigation all year round. Tichita mari. Because vanhu vari kuda kuita mari. Vari kuperera kunana South Africa because they don't have anything to do. They don't even have money to drill boreholes. There is no other way. Kunana Mwenezi. You can't dig a well. Ukabata mvura yakawanda yekuti you can irrigate. Even yechibhorani yacho kuti unzi wanyatsoita irrigation chaizvo masanga. Unenge watosangana nemunhu anonyatsoziva kutsvaga mvura, which is also troublesome. Guys, these are the issues which are stopping us to succeed as a country. We do not have a government which cares. We do not have a government which know what needs to be done. It's a matter of having a clueless government. Chavari kufunga ndechoti 2030 chipo. Chavari kufunga kurwira power. Ngati paradze chamisa azodai ngati dai so chamisa ngati dai. That is their agenda. Uyazodai 2030 anenge achipo uchitei. When we raise these issues, these are very important issues which as a people of Zimbabwe we need to constantly engage and talk about. We don't hate ZANU-PF, but we hate poverty, we hate incompetence, we hate hunger. Vanhu vari kutambura kumana kuenda kumasvingo provinces kwafiwa nenzara. Yet they have the potential. You know that one of the days I was saying, we have mines. For example, I want to give you an example of Mashava mine. It has been disused. Mashava mine is a very, very big mine. Yekuti, if our government is serious, we can draw water from Mashava mine and use it for irrigation purposes in areas around that place. I'm not so sure about experts how best we can deal with maybe mineral substances of asbestos. That is a matter of research from the people who understand how to deal with those issues. It's a matter of research. How do we deal with those issues if there are elements of asbestos in that water, but we can use it for irrigation. Water from Mashava mine, water from Shabani mine, these are mines which have been disused. And anemvura ekuti irrigation can be done in the vicinities, in the areas around, which simply need the government to say, guys, are we going to resuscitate these mines? Yes or no? If yes, then we run an irrigation plan tichizwa kuti patichazouya tichitanga kukontinya vanhu vanenge vabenefita. It's a matter of agreeing as a government. There are so many plans. We are talking about things. Kana tichitaura kuti vachamisa vane vanhu vanoziva zvavanoita. There are so many ideas which are there. But this government will never think of that, will never implement those things. Chavari kurwira ndechekutorerana makomba, chavari kurwira ndechekutorerana makomba. There are several mines dzatinadzo muZimbabwe dzakaabandonwa, which can be used for dzine mvura pasi, which can be used for irrigation purposes. They don't think about those issues. What they think about is toita sei kuti tite mari. We are in trouble. So this is Team Zimbabwe. This is the report which we have. Rwanda donated 1,000 metric tons of aid to Zimbabwe. And this is, to me, this is humiliating because Rwanda is twice smaller than Masvingo province alone. Zimbabwe in a 10 provinces, both of them bigger than Rwanda. The major question is, what is really happening? What is really transpiring? Sei tichitambura kusvika pakadaro, sei tichinyadzisirwa kusvika pakadaro. You know, this is the level ratasvitswa nehurumende yedu eZimbabwe. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming. Please follow us on X, that is Africa Beyond TV, or on Facebook, it's Africa and Beyond TV, and then on YouTube, Africa and Beyond TV. Thank you very much for the support, and thank you very much for being here. Let us meet in other episodes as well as other broadcasts. Okay, Petronella, thank you very much for the contribution. How are you? Zvanzi vari kungochera pasi vachitengesa maminerals Zimbabwe. Okay, ichamuka yawira mugomba. Yes, that is true. You know, it's a matter yekutora mari chete tichienda. Thank you very much, everybody. Let us meet in other episodes and other